So I would invite you all to find a comfortable seat in your chair. We'll begin and end with just a little grounding meditation to kind of settle us in the present and prepare us for practice. So you may want to lean back, you may want to put something behind your back, a pillow or cushion, but just something to make you comfortable for the next few moments as we settle in here. So I invite you to maybe close your eyes if that's comfortable, or soften your gaze. And bring your hands to rest, either palms together in front of your heart, or maybe resting one hand on top of the other over your heart. This may be the first time today that you've been able to stop. You may have a lot going on. And just give yourself permission to be present here in this moment. Feeling yourself rooted into the floor with your feet. Feeling where your body comes into contact with the chair. And begin to notice what's present in your body right now. Are you feeling any sensations, any tension, any areas of discomfort? We don't need to judge, just observe. Observe what is. Now bringing the focus to your breath. Our breaths are what link the mind and the body in the present. Again, without any judgment, just noticing how your breath feels moving in and out of your body. Following every inhale all the way to the top, and every exhale until the last drop of air has left your body. Any time in our daily lives we feel a little bit stressed or distracted, we can always bring the focus back to the breath, grounding ourselves in the present moment. At this point, you may want to set an intention for this practice. Maybe thinking about if there's something that you'd like to focus on or cultivate within yourself today. That's totally optional. You can also just remain open to whatever you receive from this practice. And releasing your hands from wherever they are, allowing them to rest on your legs or by your sides, wherever is comfortable. And then allow your eyes, if they've come closed, to slowly flutter back open as you bring your awareness back into the space around you. We'll begin first by setting up a stable seated mountain pose. This is kind of our home base. Oh, hi, doggy. We have our home base for the practice. So we want to be weight evenly distributed between the feet and the sitting bones in the chair. Our spine is lengthened but not stiff. The shoulders up, back, and down, sliding down the spine with a neutral gaze. And so we'll be coming back to this posture between most of the postures as we move throughout the practice. And so we'll start with some movements, some stretches to engage our head and neck. So we'll be stretching basically from our head to our toes, and then we'll do a few traditional yoga postures modified in the chair, and then some more stretching to give you an idea of where we're going. So from where you're seated, taking just an inhale, and as you exhale, shifting your gaze over to the right, inhaling back through center, and exhale, looking to the left. And we'll keep flowing through this just on your own breath, on your own rhythm. Just starting to get the neck moving, and making sure not to go past the point of comfort. And once more each side, and we'll come back to center. And we'll begin to shift the gaze up on the inhale. And then on the exhale, bringing the chin towards the chest. And again, just flowing with your own breath. Being mindful, as always, not to go too far. Do this once more time, up and down. And then gently we'll begin to roll the head just from shoulder to shoulder. And maybe finding your own rhythm with your breath. And when you're ready, bringing your gaze back to the center. Now we'll drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. And a couple of options for your arms. You may take the right arm and cradle the head, gently drawing the neck into a little bit deeper of a stretch. And maybe the left hand comes down by your side or even slightly extended out, feeling that line of energy all the way to the ends of the fingertips, and just breathing into that side of the neck. And releasing, letting right arm float back down by your sides, maybe shaking out the hands a little bit. And we'll switch sides, so head dropping to the left. Maybe taking those arm options if it feels right for you. And really using the breath to direct it towards any areas of tension. We say in yoga, where the mind goes, the energy flows. So sometimes you'll find if you bring your attention to a certain part of your body, You can feel the energy flowing through. And release. And now we'll begin to move down the body into the shoulders. So rolling the shoulders slowly up, back, and down. I'm feeling a lot of snap, crackle, and pop today. I don't know about all of you. We'll go back in the other direction. And releasing that. And now just give yourself a nice bear hug, hands shoulder to shoulder, feeling the opening in the upper back. And just maybe seeing if you can direct your attention, direct your breath into that upper back area. We'll release the arms out to the side and now across the other arm, hugging yourself again and just feeling again that openness in the shoulders and the upper back. And releasing from your bear hug and just maybe shaking out the fingers a little bit and maybe clasping the hands and rolling out the wrists. And whatever movement feels good for you. So it can be maybe in circular in one direction or figure of 8. Just whatever kind of feels right for you right now. And when you're ready, we'll extend the arms out to the sides and we'll flip the palms towards the front of the room. And then we'll just flip back and forth, finding rotation in the arms and shoulders. And maybe if your shoulders are okay with it, flipping your palms just a little bit higher as far as they'll go. Now bringing your fingertips to rest on the tops of your shoulders. We'll do kind of like a little backstroke. So rolling just one shoulder backwards at a time. And you may start to get a little bit of engagement in your spine. So just letting your body move along with your shoulders. And changing directions, rowing forward. And when you're ready, releasing the hands back into your lap. We'll take a couple of seated twists now. So taking your left hand to the right leg and maybe bringing the right hand either onto your hip or grabbing part of your chair, whichever feels best, more supportive for you. And just gently begin to twist over to the right side. And just really listening to your body and not going any farther than you need today. We'll take a couple of breaths here. And now, if it feels good for you, maybe do some of those neck movements here. So as you inhale, looking over one shoulder, and exhale, looking back over the other shoulder. It doesn't matter which shoulder you look over first. Linking the movement with the breath. As we engage the neck and spine. And gently untwisting, coming back through center. And we'll find that twist on the other side. So bringing the right hand to the left knee and either hand on the hip or on the chair. And just finding the twist on this side. And maybe, again, if it feels good, moving the neck from shoulder to shoulder as you breathe here. And slowly releasing the twist and coming back to center. And you may want to scooch forward in your chair just a little bit if you're not already there. We'll do some modified cat and cow stretches here in the chair. So as you inhale, you're going to slide the hands forward towards the knees and the back just rounds towards the back of the chair. And coming back in the other direction, sliding the hands towards the body. The back may slightly arch and the gaze can lift up towards the sky. We'll just move through this on our own breaths for a few rounds. So you may notice if you've ever done cat and cow on all fours on the mat, I mean, this is essentially exactly the same movements of the spine. But we have the benefit of being supported by our chairs. Let's do this one more time. And then when you're ready, returning back to a neutral spine. Here we'll start to open the hips just a little bit. So if you heel toe your feet together in front of your chair, we'll just inhale, and then the legs will slightly drop open. Again, just as far as feels comfortable for you. And exhale, bringing them back together. And we'll flow on our own breath. You may find this motion kind of lubricating for the joints. So you may find as you do it more, you might be able to go a little farther or not. Just noticing how it feels for you. And the next time your knees come back together, we'll come back into that seated mountain. So bringing the feet back to about hip distance apart. We'll continue moving down the body and moving into our legs. So still engaging the hips, but starting to move into the legs and hamstrings. So you may want to, you can leave your hands on your lap, or you may also want to grab onto the chair if that gives you a little bit more stability. We're just going to extend the leg out in front. And then Exhale, bending the knee. So inhale, extending your leg out. Maybe the foot is flexed if that's comfortable. Exhaling, bending the knee back in. So we're also sort of engaging our abdominal muscles as well in pulling that knee back towards us. Taking this really slowly and really feeling each individual muscle stretching as you extend the leg. And maybe the next time your knee comes towards you, if it's available, maybe grabbing the knee and pulling it in towards your body, lengthening the spine. Taking a couple of breaths here. And releasing that leg back to the floor, and we'll move through that same little sequence on the right leg. As you inhale, just letting the leg straighten and extend off the floor. And exhale, drawing the knee in towards your body. Just moving with your breath. And then again, you can keep doing that motion, or if you'd like, maybe grabbing the knee and pulling it in towards the body. And then releasing to the mat. And so from here, continuing our journey down the body, we'll just begin to roll back and forth on the heels and toes. So I'm not sure if you can see my feet, but we're just on the breath, rolling back onto the heels, and then rolling onto the balls of your feet, kind of coming up on your tippy toes. And then maybe rolling out one ankle and then the other, going in one direction and then switching directions. Just, again, whatever feels good for you, and will loosen up your ankle joints. Maybe flexing and pointing the toes. And when you're ready, come back into that seated mountain. We'll widen our feet just a little bit. And we're going to come into a sort of half forward fold. So taking an inhale here in the center. And as you exhale, just coming down maybe one elbow at a time. And just slightly hinging forward. So again, being very mindful of your low back and not going too far. And you may want to take the hand position where the points of your fingers are all touching. And feel the energy flowing between your hands. Earlier, we were breathing into our upper back, and this position is optimal for breathing into the low back. So maybe as you breathe here, just think about directing it towards your lower back. If it feels something that's available for you today, you can fold all the way forward, bending more towards the floor. Just listen to your body and take your cues from there. If you are folded forward, you may want to grab opposite elbows or experiment with any arm positions that feel good. And then slowly using the hands to help you walk yourself back up. We'll do, I think we did this in my other class, we're gonna do a little goddess flow. So we're gonna widen our feet even a little bit more, just of course not past anything that's comfortable for you, and the feet are maybe angled at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So we're basically in the same goddess position as if we were standing. And as you inhale, I'll invite you, if it feels good, to do some goddess arms. So kind of like a cactus or a goalpost. And we'll do a little flow from here. So as you inhale, slide the feet out, coming onto your heels, and extend the arms so you're making kind of like a star shape with your body. And then as you exhale, sliding the feet back in, and the hands come back to that cactus position. So we'll do this just a few times, again with our own breath. My feet don't slide so well on my mat. And if you want, you can even stand up while you're doing this and then sit back down into goddess if that feels good for you. So kind of standing up into the 5-pointed star position and then very carefully sitting back onto your chair. So we'll try that a few more times. And after the next time, you can release the hands. We'll take again just a little bit of a forward fold to kind of reset. So maybe taking that hand position or maybe folding all the way forward, whatever feels good for you. We'll slowly, carefully return back to seated. We'll have a little opportunity for some side bending here. So let's see what we want to do. So bringing the left hand, resting kind of on the left knee. We'll just kind of do a nice side stretch over to the left. And if the arm doesn't feel good, you can always just lean your body and leave the arm where it is. And coming back through center, we'll take that same stretch on the other side. So resting the elbow on the leg and just leaning over to the side, enjoying that stretch in the side of the body. And releasing the arms. And so now we'll begin a little bit of a warrior flow using Warrior 2 with our chair. So we're gonna scoot, actually I'm gonna do it in this direction first. So we'll come to kind of the right corner of the chair. So your legs are kind of on either side of the corner of your chair. Your right toes are pointing towards the side. And then the left foot extends behind you. And you want to find just whatever position feels good. So it may be that your leg is straight. If that doesn't feel great, you can do more of like a goddess position with a bent knee. So just, again, playing with it and seeing what works. And so the back foot is slightly turned in. And again, you may notice that this feels a whole lot like a Warrior 2 if we were standing. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of a breathing practice flow with our arms. So I invite you to bring your palms together at your heart. And then we'll come into a lotus mudra. So we'll fan out the 3 middle fingers. So your thumbs and pinkies are touching and your 3 middle fingers are extended like the blossoms of a lotus flower. Here, I'll step forward so you can see how that is. And so from our Warrior 2 with our lotus hands, we're just going to rise our lotus flower up through the muddy water and then release the hands down to the sides, finding Warrior 2 arms. And so we'll keep flowing like that. So bringing the palms back together into that lotus position and inhaling the arms up and exhale, bringing them into warrior arms. And you may, if you really want to get into the present moment, you may even follow your hands with your gaze, so following that right hand as you move throughout this little flow. And the next time we move through this flow, we'll hold with the arms extended in Warrior 2 position. So the right arm is in front, the left arm extended behind. And we'll just breathe here, feeling like strong and stable lotus warriors. From here, bring the left hand to your hip, flip the right palm, and we'll reverse our warrior. So just bending backwards slightly, finding a little bit of an arch in the spine. This is another position that we could do standing, but it works just the same in the chair. Enjoying the nice stretch in the front body, the openness of the chest. We'll release the right arm onto the right thigh. And we'll again take a side stretch over that front leg. And when you're ready, we'll release the arms and Release the legs gently and reset back in seated mountain. And we'll just take a couple of cat-cows here before we move on to the other side, just to loosen up the spine. So again, just inhaling and exhaling on your own breath, finding that rounding and arching of the spine. Do that maybe one more time, and then we'll get ready for warrior on the other side. Once again, setting up our warrior two, so moving to the corner, to the left corner of the chair. The left foot is pointing towards the side, and then the right foot can either be bent or extended behind you. And we'll do just a few rounds again of that little lotus hands flowing breath. So finding your hands the center of your heart, lotus. As you inhale, the flower rises, and exhale, the arms extend. A wise person in my support group mentioned the idea of survivors as rising, and that really spoke to me. So I like to think of all of us rising through all the mud and the darkness and finding our light. And so this next time, we'll hold in warrior two with the left arm extended out in front of you and the right arm behind. You may notice that one side feels a little different than the other. That's usually the case. We'll find that reverse warrior. So bringing the right hand to the hip, flipping the left palm, and then just moving slowly to find your expression of this reverse warrior. And letting the breath flow where you need it. And we'll move the left hand onto the left thigh and find the extended side angle stretch. And return back to center, slowly bringing the legs back to the center, maybe giving them a little shake, walking out the feet. And let's do maybe 3 more rounds of cat-cow just to equalize the spine. So just moving on your own breath, or finding any other movements that would feel good for you to reset. And once again, finding that seated mountain. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose here. And then sigh out through the mouth. releasing any tension as you exhale. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling through the nose and letting it all out through the mouth. And one more time. Great. So we will move into just a few more stretches before our final meditation. So I invite you to bring the right hand to rest either on your hip or on the chair. And we'll do some flowing side bends. As you inhale, gently flexing over to the side and exhale back to center. And we'll just move very fluidly with the breath. And then maybe the next time that we come to the side, we'll hold just for a couple of breaths. And then coming back to center. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. So hands on the hip or on the chair. Inhale and exhale, moving with our own breath. Releasing any tension that you might be carrying and just let it flow. And then maybe hold for a couple of breaths on this side. And release. And now we're going to do a seated pigeon, and we have a couple of options for that. So option one is to take the right foot and just extend it a little bit out in front of you, and then open up the hip, coming kind of onto the blade of your foot. So the outside of your foot is touching the mat. And just getting a nice little hip opener. Option two, if your hips are happy with it, you can bring the foot up to cross over the left leg. So either option is fine. You're going to get the same benefit. And so from wherever you are in this hip opener, maybe again bringing the hands to the hips or onto the chair, so finding what feels good. Just beginning to slightly hinge forward and stopping at the first sign of any sensation. So we're not bending too far, we're just kind of engaging that hip a little bit, seeing if we can find a little more openness. And as always, directing the breath towards those areas of sensation, seeing if we can create any space. When you're ready, releasing from that fold. And we'll move into that same stretch on the other side. So the left foot can be on the floor with the hip open, or crossing the left foot over the right knee. And then beginning to hinge forward. Again, making sure you don't go too far. Your body should tell you when it's a good time to stop. And one side may be slightly different or a lot different from the other. And releasing from that stretch, uncrossing your legs if they're crossed. As for our last active posture, we'll do another round of seated twists. So this time we're going to shift so that we're sitting facing the right. And then taking your hands and placing them on either side of the back of your chair. And then using the hands to just gently pull yourself, guide yourself into the twist. It's just a little bit different than the twist that we did before. And as you breathe here, maybe picturing, or maybe you don't want to picture this, but twisting can massage our internal organs. It can be really helpful for digestion, also helping to calm our central nervous system. And slowly coming out of the twist, and we'll walk around through center and find the twist on the left side. So sitting facing the left in the chair, the hands coming to the back of the chair, and then just using the hands to guide yourself into your twist. I always like to close a practice with twisting as well, because I think it's almost like wringing out the spine. Feels appropriate after the work that we've done. And when you're ready, untwisting yourself and coming back to center. So we'll prepare now for our Shavasana, and it's going to be a closing meditation. And I would invite you to make yourself comfortable in whatever way feels good for you. So you may just want to sit back in your chair and relax. If you think you might be more comfortable resting back on the floor or the sofa or whatever, whatever is going to make you the most comfortable for the next few moments while we close in meditation. So give you just a minute to get yourself set up. Wherever you find yourself, maybe letting the eyes soften or close. Gently shift your awareness inwards. Notice inhale and exhale as your breath flows in and out. And next, begin to bring your awareness to your feet. Maybe they're resting on the ground, noticing the connection between your feet and the ground. May help you feel settled and grounded. Moving up the body, bringing the awareness to your legs. Really allowing your attention to focus on the fronts and backs of your legs. Noticing any clothing that may be coming into contact with your legs. Bring the awareness up through the torso. Once again, really feeling the flow of your breath. Maybe you feel your clothing shifting on your body as you breathe. Drawing the awareness farther upwards, up through the arms, into the shoulders and chest. Maybe taking a couple of deeper breaths up into the chest. Feeling the rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. Returning to natural breathing. Bringing the awareness up into your head. Noticing if you're carrying any tension in the muscles of your face, your jaw, around the eyes. Seeing if you can find release. Now I'd like to invite you into some guided imagery. If this doesn't resonate with you, simply let the words wash over you. Bring to mind a place that you have been, or maybe a place that you'd like to go. Some place that's very peaceful and very calm. Maybe it's someplace in nature, like a river, an ocean, the beach, a hiking trail, a mountain. Someplace that you can go that will be settling and calming. And when you have this place clear in your mind's eye, begin to engage your senses. First, look around this place and see the landscape, the colors, the textures. Is the sun shining or is it shady? Becoming aware of what you see as you look around this place. And next, bringing your awareness to the sounds that you hear. Maybe some of the sounds are up close and some are at a distance. Any of the calming and soothing sounds that are present in this place. And then noticing if there are any smells. If you're at the beach, maybe you smell the salt water, the sea air. Taking a moment to take in the scents in this calm place. Next, imagining what this place feels like on your skin. Can you feel the sunlight? Or maybe the shade? Is it warm or humid or cool and brisk? Maybe it's windy. Taking some time to notice what it feels like in this place. Now, engaging all 5 senses. Take another moment to really feel what it's like to be here in this calming place. This place where you can be completely relaxed. And slowly begin to come back into your space in the here and now. Maybe taking some gentle movements, maybe moving your hands and feet, whatever feels right and good for you right now. If you're reclined, maybe making your way back to seated. Taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, bringing your hands to rest in front of your heart. Maybe taking just a breath or two to reflect on the intention that you set at the beginning of class, if you chose to set one. Be noticing if you feel different than you felt when you first sat down in your chair this afternoon. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your busy day to engage in some self-care. I wish you all happiness, health, and peace. Namaste.